Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PSGL GT. We are here around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia in Montemelo for tonight's race. We're getting ready, we're starting at a bit of a delayed time, just due to some issues, but what else can you expect from GT7? We're going to get ready and going here in qualifying. Quali is green, as you can see there. We've 8 minutes on the clock now. And it is exactly 8 minutes on the clock. There's no time over. We are green straight for 8 minutes. We're getting ready to go. Welcome everybody who's tuning in. Hold on a second. We'll just fix the audio. There we go, much better. We are ready to go here in Montemelo, Barcelona for the third round of the GR.3 challenge season here in tier number 1. 10 representatives tonight for this race. Of course, championship leader is H Racing Green for the Invicta VR46 team. We can see him there running in the Mercedes GT3 alongside his teammate YRS. New representative COG Jamie is with us tonight for he's driving for Aperture. It's a reserve entry, but he's still here for the Corvette. Chevrolet Corvette almost won Le Mans this year, of course, very interestingly. Almost won the 24-hour of Le Mans, but got swiped by an LMP2. Brownski is going to get us away here in qualifying as we head through turn number 9. These are all-out laps, the guys running very close to one another. Very different options between the racing hards and the racing mediums. There's a bit of variety this evening, and we'll try and run you through that, but it's very difficult to tell. We can see Brownski is on the racing hards. You can see in the bottom left there, just on the little car on the bottom left, you can see RH, that's the racing hards. And can we get someone on the racing mediums? We can. There is Iqbal on the racing mediums. Won last week in Daytona, but picked up a 60-second time penalty for an irregularity in the 25% tyre rule. Is that someone into the pit lane? That's Brownski into the pit lane, so quite interesting there. But here comes Iqbal. He's starting a qualifying run. He'll be the first one to do it. He's the first one to do it in Daytona. He's taken pole in both rounds this season, and as he heads down towards turn 1, let's have a look inside the car. The GR Supra is the car of choice for the Malaysian. As he heads into 1, heads into 2, chucks the steering in, and gets the car rotated well into 3. Not as easy these corners as you would see in your Formula 1 car. There's a lot of guys into the pits, funnily enough, which surprises me. Might be a tyre change. We can see Brownski's gone for the mediums now instead of the racing hards. Iqbal is opted for the mediums all the way. Running the Rayo Watanbe livery for the Rayo Watanbe team is Iqbal. Teammates with Jordy Boy, not here this evening. Jordy Boy finishing last in both entries this season in Brazil and in Daytona. Here comes Iqbal heading into turn number 7. Not a bad lap so far. We've about 3 minutes on the clock here in qualifying. There's no timer on the screen, unfortunately, as there's no actual qualifying mode on GT7. But there's 8 minutes on the clock, and it stops at 8 minutes. I have a timer open beside me, and we're about just over 3 minutes into it now. Here comes Iqbal, followed by COG Jamie, the Briton, running the number 94 for the Chevrolet Corvette team. Here comes Iqbal, though, running the number 7. Heads into the chicanes, not very popular chicanes, but they serve a great purpose in slowing the cars down, and they're very tricky in the Formula 1 car, very tricky in the GT3, or GR3 as they're called here on the game. Across the line will be Iqbal to set the first qualifying lap of the day. It's going to be a 54.9, and we're expected to see a bit quicker than that. As there goes Jamie, he narrowly beats it. We're expected to see a little bit quicker than that as Iqbal has opted for the pit lane, and his time has been removed. Here comes Petty Petyat. Down across the line, goes for a 46.2. Toby opting for the pits as well. A lot of guys bailing into the pit lane very early here. Unfamiliar to what they're doing. There goes YRS for the Invicta VR46 team. He goes to 3rd. Hasnian, second in the championship, goes to 4th. Fred Dude follows him in 5th. Brownski. Oh, that's someone gone. That's H Racing Green gone. He's on the gravel. It's the championship leader. Oh, I think it's a bit of lag there, if I'm honest. Yeah, there's definitely some lag issues there for H Racing Green. He's currently backwards down the main straight at about 300 kilometers an hour, so Probably not the most realistic thing in the world, but let's take a look at the Chevrolet Corvette, the new entry. Jarno should race here as well. We'd love to have Jarno here, but unfortunately he is focused on the F1 side of things, I believe. Well, if we could get him in, we said we'd try and get him in before the end of the season. No, we won't be seeing Jarno Opmeer here, unfortunately. But with Jamie, next best thing, as he heads into turn number 10 for the in the Chevrolet Corvette. Of course, that's all reprofiled now, but this is the track that the GT cars will be running anyways. It's down towards turn number 13 and into the 14-15 chicane. It's a 4.655 kilometre circuit here, the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. 16 corners. That's of course 2.892 miles for the Imperial system. There goes Jamie across the line. He's 6 seconds down his time. Here comes Iqbal. He's currently second on an outlap, however. Petit Petgat improves by 0.2 of a second. He'll stay third. What about some of the lower orders? Oh, it's Fred Dude rounded the chicane for the Bronson racing car, the Mazda. He has gone off there at the turn 13 and 14 and 15 section. That's Fred Dude there. That's in the Bronson Mazda. H Racing Green has a penalty, so this lap will be invalid, or his next lap will be invalid. And he goes across the line as a 46.2 for Harry Racing Green, current championship leader. Here's Toby in the Turner's BMW, the 14. Across the line he goes. It's a 1:44.8, but for some reason he's not shot up the order there. That'll put him in second spot, but he's not shot up the order. There's YRS off. It's a perfect sector 1 for Piazzi, and inherited the win last week after a 60-second penalty for Iqbal. There was also a 60-second penalty for Geordie Boy. That was for violation of the 25% rule. If you don't know what the 25% rule is, or you're new here, it was you have to do 9 laps on each set of tyre. There's been a bit of an incident there with Fred Dude and YRS. You might have seen pop up in the game chat, your bottom left. YRS, I think, might have hit Fred Dude round. We see Fred Dude round in the Bronson Mazda. It's more of an electric motor on that one. It's of course a concept car, doesn't really exist in real life, but it's still a brilliant car. Very good in fuel and tyres, that is for sure. We're into the business end of qualifying. We are just over the 7-minute mark. We have about 20 or so seconds left, meaning Jamie crossed the line now. He does improve. What about Nick Ball? Oh, he's back into the pits, so he's not going to be finished his lap. It's been a horror qualifying for our 2-time pole sitter here in the GR.3 Challenge. Piazzi, we've seen he was purple and won, currently on pole. He's going to get a brilliant tow on the Slag Brothers car in front, but he does not improve, and that's actually Iqbal out of the session. He should be able to get back in before the race, but that is him actually out of the session. We've seen a bit of lag. Here comes Hasnian in the Lexus, won the opening round in Interlagos, doing one less pit stop than everyone. It was a genius strategy. Does improve, goes to 7th, not bad for Hasnian, and that's qualifying, folks. It ends as quickly as that. It'll be Piazzi on pole for the Spanish Grand Prix, the winner of last week. He'll be followed by CRG Jamie. We'll run you through last week's results quickly. We believe we might be waiting on Iqbal. Last week's result, it was Piazzi ahead of H Racing Green, and then it was Fred Dude in the Bronson Mazda, had a Petit Petjat and Hasnian. Then it was Iqbal. He won the race on track, but did receive a 60-second time penalty for the violation of the 25% rule. Then it was Brownski, YRS and Geordie Boy also picking up that same 60-second time penalty. But we're just waiting here. You can see on the right hand side the grid order. We're just waiting on Iqbal to get back into the session. We'll run you through the championship standings while we wait and do so. It is H Racing Green leading ahead of Hasnian by 3 points, and it is Piazzi, Petit Petjat, Brownski, Fred Dude, Bonnie, Oscar, Iqbal, YRS, Mr. Slowly, Toby, Geordie, Philip Wouters and Yassi Perez. Of course, no Jamie on that list. He's only a reserve driver. I believe we're going to get ready to go now for the race. And here we are. We're going. There goes Jamie. We're going. It's been a very quick start. Here is Jamie ahead, and that's Iqbal. not got into the session. We go racing here in Spain, and we get going. Here is Jamie up round turn 10, and we'll go. Jamie leads the race ahead of Piaggi. Piaggi's dropped down at that start there. Toby taking second in the Brooke Turner's BMW. Down into the third sector, so Toby leads. No, Toby doesn't lead, Jamie leads in the Corvette, apologies. Petit Petya, the second Hungarian, hounding Piaggi as we enter the chicanes for the first time. As here comes Piaggi, he's going to be attacking Toby now, started on pole. There was no Iqbal here in the race, the Malaysian, who picked up the penalty last week after winning in Daytona, is not going to score tonight. Piaggi going to go around the outside of Toby here, down into the braking zone, gets past the BMW. The Supra is the absolute superior car there, but still a great move nevertheless for Piaggi. Distinct Piaggi going to be trying to catch Jamie in the Chevrolet Corvette, the rookie, the reserve. Toby in the Turner's car is looking to make the move stick. This is his best opportunity for a good result. Down the inside goes to BMW on Piaggi, and he's got the job done as the 14. Really nice move there, and now Petit Petya got to try and get past his fellow Hungarian down into the braking zone. There's Fred Dude in the Bronson, looking comfortable there. He's under attack though from Brownski. YRS and H Racing Green not having the best starts for our current Constructors' Championship leaders. Hasnian splits the two Invicta machines, the 282. Jamie, healthy 2.4 second lead though over Toby in the Turner's BMW. And then it is Petit Petya, Piaggi, Fred Dude. Oh, here comes Hasnian and YRS having a scrap with H Racing Green just behind, and then it is Brownski. Has someone gone off there? Yes, it is. It's YRS. He's lost it at the chicane, and he's gone off. The Invicta car now down to the back. He's been having issues all race long, and last week, and the week before, and he's down to the back. Up the front though, Piaggi attacking Petit Petya. As we see at the back, Hasnian's dropped to the back now, so something's happened. The Lexus, the RCF GT3 car, made in 2017, was the Lexus attacking the Mercedes GT3. Something's happening there though, because we did see YRS off at turn 13. Piaggi attacking Petit Petya into turn number 7. The two Hungarians. Piaggi, yeah, he's on hards, everyone else is on medium, so that's why he is struggling the opening phases of this race. Qualified in a different tyre despite taking pole. He qualified instead of the hard compound tyres. Distinct Piaggi, really great driver. That car is in good hands. The 77, he's the second up in his PB, but the fastest lap of the race just go to our race leader, Sergi Jamie. We'll be pitting about lap 9 off those set of mediums. They'll be shredded by then. But the Chevrolet Corvette, not a bad car at all. Very, very fast, and it should be working well around the Circuit of Barcelona Catalunya here in Montemelo. Hosts Formula 1, MotoGP, Catalan Grand Prix, and of course these GT cars. Pre-season testings happen a lot here for the different series: W Series, FIA, Formula 3, Formula 1. Which is the TCR Spain Championship. This is here as well in the TCR Europe Championship. Petit Petya's going to go down the inside of Toby. That's a great move here if he can make it stick. But Toby and the Turners BMW is looking very good in defensive manoeuvres tonight. Petit Petya just gets the traction, and he's up now to second place. Piaggi is also looking at the back of Toby here. Can he possibly make a move with the Turners? Well, here comes Toby. He's made this move on Piaggi and got his spot back. Not going to be able to do the same on Petit Petya. That that Subaru in front is working very well. And Piaggi is also looking to get past the BMW. The Toyota Supra 77 running the distinct livery. We'll have to try. There's some move back here. There's someone off there. Who's that gone? Is it H Racing Green? Whoa, not quite sure what's happening there, but yeah, I think we're best to just leave that maybe, because that didn't look normal. Piaggi though, attacking Toby, and still not finding a way past. Of course, Toby retook this spot on second lap, apologies, and Toby's run a bit wide there. Piaggi's going to have a run on the BMW here, the Super, with great straight line speed. Let's run on board. Okay, it's not going to let us run on board, so we'll be stuck with the outside camera. Here he goes now, Piaggi, the Hungarian, going to go down the inside of Toby. He made this move on Petit Petiat not too long ago, but Petit Petiat's now ahead of him, and he's passed. Piaggi back up onto the podium after starting on pole. He's 30 laps to make his way back up to COG Jamie, the man who started alongside him on the front row with him. New personal best for Petit Petiat. He's pulling away from these two. Toby's starting to struggle in the BMW now. Fred Dude in the Mazda, very much struggling to keep up with this front crew. That's the Bronson Racing Mazda. Oh, H Racing Green! I think it was just more lag. Okay, H Racing Green just having another bit of a lag spike there, but we'll have to wait and see what develops with that. Back up to this battle though, and is Toby able to keep with Piaggi? I don't think he is. I think the two Hungarians here working in unison and going to start pulling off. Of course, not in the same team. Petit Petiat Racing, the Stag Racing team, alongside that's Browski. He's alongside. They're currently leading the championship, but tied on points with the Invicta Racing team. That's the Invicta 46 crew of H Racing Green and YRS, currently running 6th and currently running 8th. Down into the first few turns. Bit of a battle developing for the lower placings between the Invicta car. We were just talking about YRS and Hasnian. Hasnian in the Lexus, of course, won the opening round of the season. He wasn't expected to win it. It was a shock win for sure. But that's what happens in the opening round of a new series. It was Hasnian who took the victory in the opening round in Brazil. It was Piaggi who took the victory last week in Daytona. But it was Iqbal who won it on track, but did receive that 60-second time penalty by the race stewards here in PSGL. Driver standings, Piaggi would possibly inherit the lead here as it stands. He's currently 3rd behind Hasnian in H Racing Green. He's only 8 points off the top of the standings. It is 16 points for a victory, your typical PSGL standard points, and Piaggi is looking all over the back of Petit Petiat here. He could go for a move, possibly down towards turn 1. Petit Petiat a bit out of shape through turn number 10. As we wait and see will this develop down the main straight, but it's currently COG Jamie, the reserve driver, running the Chevrolet Corvette for Aperture Motorsport. Here comes Piastri. He's going to go for it down the main straight here. It's Hungarian on Hungarian. It is going to be the Supra who's going to possibly go down the inside. This is going to be the third move of the day for Piastri. Brakes a lot later than the BRZ Subaru, and he's ahead. Piastri up to second, proving his pace here. Petit Petiat looks for another opportunity around the outside, but it's absolutely not going to happen. The 77 is back up to second here. And he's going to have to work for it though, because Petit Petiat's got a bit of a run out of turn 3. He'll be ahead into 4 and will be ahead for the remainder of the lap here, unless Petit Petiat can get close through turn 10. But I think Piastri has the better pace of all these guys. I think Jamie might slowly fall into the clutches of distinct Piastri, as Jamie's tyres are not in great nick. Piastri running the racing hards, Jamie running the racing mediums. You have to do 9 laps, folks, on each compound of tyre. Those are the rules. There was 2 penalties given last week by the race stewards. It was a 60-second penalty. You don't want to pick up one of those in a close field like this. Braking for turn 10. You can see Piastri reeling him in, because he does have those better compounded tyres. Hold on a second, we'll just try and fix the off-board cameras. Here we go, folks. Oh, he's going down the inside. He's much better tyres here, and it's going to be Piastri who's possibly got to send one down the inside into turn number 13. That's a great move. If he can pull it off, does he have it? He has it. Really great racing for the new late race leader for the first time. He was on pole, and he is now leading the Grand Prix. It is Piastri ahead of CRG Jamie, ahead of Petit Petiat. Weaving to break the slipstream is Petit Petiat going to have a go on Jamie. Jamie's just killed his tyres. The Chevrolet Corvette is not kind on its rubber. Here is Petit Petiat pressuring Jamie into a move. Could it be a Hungarian 1-2 possibly here in the Spanish Grand Prix? He's got to go for it. He's got to go for it down the inside. This is an optimistic sound for Petit Petiat, but he's going to get it done here. Jamie covers off the inside, heading into turn number 5. Petit Petiat backs off with a clever decision there. He doesn't want to go for it. Doesn't want to take too much risks. Heading through turn 9, Petit Petiat's right on the back of Jamie here. Could he possibly go down the inside? No, doesn't go for it. It's gonna save it. Here he goes, down the inside. Petit Petiat got to send it exactly where Piastri did, and that's a beautiful overtaking spot for the 2 Hungarians. It's now Piastri leading ahead of Petit Petiat. Petit Petiat with a great move, and now Fred Dude is right at the back here in the Bronson Mazda. He's going to have a look, quite possibly the number 11, going to have a look on the number 94. Fred Dude looking for a move here. He's got to go down the inside of Jamie. Jamie, just look how much he's struggling on his tyres in that Corvette. The Belgian Fred Dude finds himself on the podium now for the 2nd time in 2 weeks. If these positions were to stay the same, but I can't imagine they will. It's a great move there by Fred Dude in the Bronson Mazda. He is now up to 3rd position, and Jamie is going to fall into the clutches, quite possibly. A H Racing Green here. The new reserve is leading for 7 laps, but he's found himself a victim of bad tyres. He can pit this lap and get rid of them. He's completed his mandatory 9 laps. Of course, the tyre settings for any GT fans, they are on X6 with fuel on X3. All these guys look absolutely brilliant on fuel. And I have to say, Fred Dude is also looking very good here because he's on a set of the racing hards, just like Piaggi is up the front, and the RX Vision GT3 Mazda concept car is looking fairly aggravated behind the back of Petit Petgat. It's looking like he wants more. And why shouldn't he? He's good tyres, good fuel. Mounts a bit of curb through 14. Onto the main straight. This car has good straight line speed. There is confirmation of Jamie into the pit lane. Still great on fuel, still is over half a tank, but those tyres just can't go any longer. Toby also feeling, and he's into the pit lane. Let's have a wait and see. I imagine it'll be a set of the racing hards for Jamie to the end. Well, maybe not to the end. I don't know if the tyres would quite make it on a one-stop. It's a long wait for the fuel to go in for the Aperture Laboratories Corvette. What tyre has he gone for? He's gone for a set of the racing hards, and he has got a full tank. So he's only gone to 73%, and look at Fred Dude forcing Petit Petgat into a bit of a mistake here. As we head through turn number 5, this is 6, it's a flat out kink. And then 7, very tricky braking zone, but these guys are at top of their game here on GT7. Very unlikely to see them making a mistake. Here is Fred Dude. He's really pressuring me to remove now, isn't he, folks? Just take a look at this. Through 14, through 15, and he's trying to just make Petit Petgat make a mistake. He's into the pit lane, and as expected for the Subaru BRZ, we won't stick with that because we imagine we'll be going on a similar pit stop. Toby in the BMW Turner's car was again running very well, but that BMW just became a BMW, and unfortunately it dropped down the order, wasn't able to keep up with the superior cars. Keep an eye on Petit Petgat. There he is in the pit lane. Gonna get a bit of fuel on board as well while he's here, may as well. He's going to lose the spots anyways, and he's not gone full tank, he's gone 65%, so feels he might be making another pit stop this afternoon, or this evening even. But it's currently Piaggi leading by 5.7 seconds over Fred Dude. Fred Dude, though, is looking like he's going to be under pressure from H Racing Green in the Invicta Racing 46 Mercedes very soon. It's not the number 46, that is the team name. It's teamed off Valentino Rossi, the famous MotoGP 9-time world champion. There's a lot of damage on that car for H Racing Green, so he's had a scrape somewhere. There's no actual damage, but you can see some visual stuff. You can see his number 91 racing number absolutely just destroyed with some scrapes on the left-hand side bodywork. So there's definitely been some sort of scrape. If you're watching the stream and just joining us, welcome here to the Circuit Barcelona Catalunya in Montemelo. We are 12 laps in to the 35-lap race around here for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is currently Piaggi leading. But Fred Dude currently bringing down that lead. That Mazda once again saves its tyres very well, and it's running well around Spain here. It's It's not the best car, but it by far is not the worst. I can definitely think of worse cars to be in on a Tuesday afternoon around Barcelona. We could see Jamie actually came out behind Petit Petnat because Petit Petnat put more fuel in. There's Piaggi into the pit lane. We've seen him struggling. He's on a set of the hards, so it's going to be interesting to see what he goes for. It's a set of Michelins on that car, but there's no difference. It's just a sticker compared to those. Some running Pirellis, some even running Goodyears. Of course, it just throws us back to the days of the tyre war in Formula 1. That's all the time a GT. Set of mediums for Piaggi, so he's on a very different strategy to everybody else. He's come out actually just ahead of Petit Petnat, so he's got the jump, but he's on quicker tyres. But they'll only last about 7 or 8 laps, as we've seen on the Chevrolet Corvette of CRG Jamie, who's currently 2 seconds behind Petit Petnat. But Petit Petnat, he is right behind Piaggi here. He's only 0.5 of a second behind, and yes, it's only the battle for 6th and 7th now. But this could be a more important battle later on in the race. It's a new PB for Petit Petnat. His best lap of the race was on lap number 4. It could be lap number 13 at the way that he is running. You can hear the wheels scrubbing. You can hear that car working to its absolute maximum, all pistons firing. But I think Piaggi will be able to pull away once he gets a lap under his belt, because he is on the quicker compound of tyre. But that almost all but confirms that we will be on a 2-stop this afternoon. No, there's Toby. Track didn't render in. Looked like he was walking on water. H Racing Green, next man to pit road here in Barcelona. He is going to pull into his box, and you can see the crew in a luminous sort of yellow and orange waiting for his arrival. Here he is, into the pit lane. Be interested to see what tyres he goes for here, because he's on a very similar strategy to Piaggi. Bit of fuel on board. No, not much fuel on board at all. It's mediums, and he's only got about 5% more fuel in the car, so he doesn't plan on going long. Where's he going to come out in relation to these guys? He's going to come out alongside Petit Petnat, who gets to run into turn number 1. H Racing Green is offline. Petit Petnat, we go on board the BRZ. As we head through turn number 3, he's flinging the steering wheel in and out to try and catch up to H Racing Green, but it's just not going to be enough here. H Racing Green has pulled a beautiful strategy and is ahead of the Hungarian, and on a set of the medium tyres he could really challenge for the win of this race now, I'd say. But that now promotes Fred Dude to the lead of the race. He's ahead of Brownski in second. Brownski has not been really anywhere this race. He's now in second, of course, but still a pit stop to make for the top 5. It's Fred Dude's first time leading a race here in the GT3 tier, as he mounts the chicane, the Bronson Mazda. Spain, especially the Spanish Grand Prix, is a lot of places for firsts, actually. Of course, we had the youngest F1 winner in current world champion Max Verstappen. It was a famous first for women's representation in motorsport as well, back in the Spanish Grand Prix in 1975. It was Lena Lombardi became the only woman to score top 6, which was the point scoring places at the time. Yes, she scored half a point for 6th. The race was called off early. It wasn't here, but it was in Mount Juanc, very dangerous circuit, also in Barcelona, with the Spanish Grand Prix that time. Wouldn't be a first podium for Fred Dude though. He finished third last week, just behind H Racing Green. H Racing Green currently running at 6th, the only man to score 2 podiums so far this season. We've only had 2 pole sitters as well in 3 rounds. Piaggi and Iqbal. Iqbal didn't start this race. He's our only DSQ, DNF, non-starter, whatever you really want to label him under. He's the only man not currently driving who did set a lap in qualifying. We still have 20 laps to go, so we're still not even halfway here in this one. Thank you all for sticking with us for the GT tier, GT7 tier 1. It's currently Fred Dude in the lead of the race, as we were saying, but if we are taking pit stops to happen into account, it's Piaggi who's leading this one here in his Supra. Won last week in Daytona, real challenger for the title. Him and H Racing Green, really the 2 heavyweights here. Yassi Perez, another very quick driver, not here this week though. He's only a reserve, so he's not here this week. We only have 9 runners left in GR.3 tier here. I do apologise for those bots on the stream channel. They are being deleted thankfully by a moderator. But back to the racing anyways. Top 5, still not going to pit YRS. 2003 is being swallowed up here by the race leaders. I don't think he's going to last long in P number 4 once Piaggi and his teammate get on the back. Could we see some team orders possibly here? Is YRS going to back off maybe Piaggi to let H Racing Green get on the back of him? It's not a bad call. We've seen it done before. Sergio Perez in 2021, Abu Dhabi being a prime example of that. Fernando Alonso tried a very similar thing to let Esteban Ocon get away in the Hungarian Grand Prix of 2021. But here in GT racing, it's not something that's as common due to normal car differences. You can see him there, he's really backing him off in turn number 3, and it's exactly what we just talked about. Piaggi, he's up along the inside of YRS now, but will YRS try hang one around the outside? No, and that is where the car difference comes in. The Supra's on much better tyres and arguably a better car. Could YRS chuck one up the inside to turn number 5? That would be something he would like to do to establish himself as the best teammate for H Racing Green. H Racing Green never won a GT title here. Of course, we had the Ferrari Challenge back on GT Sport, but that was won by Kevin Belland back then. But H Racing Green, he was the winner of the 2 hour of Le Mans back on GT Sport as well. And we cannot forget about his AOR titles, but we won't talk about them too much. Not PSGL related, we'll stick to PSGL titles. He's a world-renowned GT racer in the small league racing community. And we do have. But definitely anyone who's into their PSGLs, into their AORs of the GT side of things, H Racing Green is a known name. He's the admin, of course, of this tier. He's the main admin of he overlooks the GT base. He's going to be overlooking a 5-10 penalty though that he's just picked up through turn 15, the chicanes. So that's gonna that might drop him back to his teammate, but I don't think his teammate would overtake him because he's done a worse strategy. Fred Dude's still out here, so he's going to be trying a one-stop, surely Fred Dude is, to the end, because his tyres are still in great condition. Very low on fuel though is Fred Dude. He's going to have to come into the pit lane possibly at this lap. Just take a look at that consistency on the right hand side of the tyres. Lap 11 to lap 16 are all in 47s. It's a 47-2, 47-2, 47-5, 47-7, 47-8, 47-9. That's incredible consistency from Fred Dude in the Bronson Mazda. It's going to be into the pit lane this time round for Fred Dude because he is low on fuel. But that's an incredible stint by the Belgian. Brownski also into the pit lane. Hasnian can carry on, but he has Piaggi right behind him. Piaggi mounting the curb there. He's going to get a run on the round 1 winner down the main straight. There he goes, pulls to the right hand side. I think it's going to be a fairly straightforward move for the Piaggi. It is. He's already ahead, braking for turn number 1. The 77 now leads the race once again, ahead of Hasnian, ahead of H Racing Green. Hasnian still has to make a pit stop. Then it's Petty Petyat. YRS also still makes a pit stop. Jamie. Then it is Fred Dude, and then it is Brownski, and then it is Toby in the BMW Turner's car. He's had a spin or something back there. Yeah, there's oh, he's made 2 pit stops actually. Yeah, he's made 2 pit stops on lap 14 and 15. You can see also the 2-minute 30 lap on lap 9. Yeah, some unlucky there for Toby. He's not had the best of luck all season really in that Turner's BMW. It's a stunning livery, you can see here the orange and blue, but it's not been the best of luck. H Racing Green gets past Hasnian. That's going to be one of the more easier moves he does today. Currently the holder of the fastest lap of the race with a 45.3 for H Racing Green. Bit of a battle back here between Jamie and Petty Petyat. Jamie's got past Petty Petyat. The Corvette is back up to 4th here. Started well, got himself into a bit of trouble with the tyres, but he's back up to 4th, and Petty Petyat drops behind him once again. They were battling earlier on in the race, the Corvette and the BRZ. Gap up the front is now a second. H Racing Green's been unleashed. He's been absolutely unleashed. He set the fastest lap of the race, and he set consistent 46s. And we're about to head on to lap number 20. He's taken 2 podiums this season, but hasn't taken a win just yet. But he's looking like he could do it today if he can just get on the back of Piaggi and possibly get a bit of slipstream. Starting lap number 20 now, 15 to go. It is Piaggi who leads. We'll give you a full run through of the order. It's Piaggi ahead of H Racing Green, ahead of Hasnian, Jamie, Petty Petyat, YRS, Fred Dude, Brownski and Toby. But we believe Fred Dude and Brownski might be trying to go to the end here. It'll be a bit of a stretch here because Petty Petyat, he's going to go for an overtake. Not quite close enough. Just going to have to settle behind for a moment. Can't quite make it work. Here he is, Petty Petyat. Still pressuring. He's all over the rear wing of Jamie. Jamie, the new reserve of the tier. You guys are going to have to pit for fuel at some point. Battle for the lead now is 0.7 of a second. Oh, struggled through the chicane. That got to lose a bit of time. Let's run on board for a moment. We haven't had many on board shots today, have we, folks? Let's run on board for a moment with the Mercedes as we see and weave down the straight for Piaggi. Did Fred pit recently? Fred did. He's only in the pits. He's only out of the pits a couple laps. His pit lap was lap 17, so he only pit about 3 or so laps ago. Piaggi just has it down the straight as that car was battered. H Racing Green might need a new lick of paint after this one, maybe. That car was a bit rough around the edges as Piaggi just has it down the straight. But H Racing Green's low on fuel. Himself and Piaggi are going to have to pit soon. They are just serving their mandatory 9 laps on a set of the mediums. Of course, you have to serve 9 laps on each set of tyres. It is a very hefty penalty if you don't. We've seen a 60-second penalty last week for Iqbal and Jordy Boy. They both are not here. Iqbal disconnected at the end of qualifying and unfortunately could not join us back. Strategy working well for Hayden Clampett, one of the strategical teams, or one of our teams here. So the strategies are working well. As we can see, Harry Racing Green. He's all over the back of Piaggi now. Piaggi's struggling as we head through turn 15. Piaggi's in. There we go. That's a pit stop for the Supra. And he's going to go for a set of the hards to the end here and go for almost a full... Maybe not a full tank, but more fuel, that's for sure. Haslian. Oh, he's doing what he did in Brazil. Haslian. There's a pit stop thing there, but we can confirm Haslian has not made a pit stop yet in this race. He is still the only man not to make a pit stop. We can see YRS also opting into the pit lane. Here is Piaggi refueling. And on track though, Jamie, or sorry, Fred Tude is catching up to Jamie. Jamie gonna have to come into the pit lane though. The Chevrolet Corvette is very, very thirsty because it uses a lot of its fuel. He put a top up of fuel on his last pit stop off the mediums, and he's gonna have to pit again soon for another set of the hard compound tyres. We can see here there's a real battle developing, a real strategical battle developing between H Racing Green and Piaggi. We should expect a lot of guys into the pit lane very, very soon, including H Racing Green on this lap. He's running his fuel right to the end. He's going to be in the pit lane for H Racing Green. He's in, as to be expected. Where's he going to come out in relation to Piaggi? Piaggi has gone for the hard compound tyres to the end of the race. Hasnian still has not made a pit stop. Petty Petyan also into the pit lane. Jamie also into the pit lane. Meaning Fred Dude is going to go to second here in the Bronson. Brownski pitted the same lap with him. They've been running in almost unison. Also staying out, but I think they might have to make another pit stop here. Hasnian is just trying the one stop. There's H Racing Green in his box, getting tyres changed and fuel on board. Where's Piaggi? Piaggi is a long, long way behind here. Has he made some sort of mistake on his outlap? There's H Racing Green, still having the longest wait of his life in the pit lane. There's Piazzi rounding the final corner. There's H Racing Green. He's out of the pits. Here's Piazzi down the main straight, and it's been a leader change. Oh, he's picked up a penalty. H Racing Green's picked up a penalty on pit exit, just as he inherits the lead. Petty Petyan, the two Hungarians, side by side through turn number 1. Piazzi has had a nightmare of an outlap, but both cars in front of him have picked up 3-second time penalties. It's all gone wrong for the two brilliant pit stops. They've both picked up 3-second time penalties. Did Piazzi just refuel full tank? No, he didn't, but he put more fuel on board than H Racing Green did. Hence why Harry got out in front for the Invicta Racing team, sponsored by GR.3. Surely we're going to see Haslien in the end of this lap. Nope, stays out. Sure, why not? Fred Dude also staying out. So is Brownski. We may see the Turner's BMW with Toby in at the end of this lap. Toby, unfortunately, has been in no man's land all race. No matter what position he's in, he's just been separated by nobody. There is the penalty served. There is Piazzi past Petit Petyat. And Piazzi is now on the hunt. This is the battle for the lead, as Toby is into the pit lane in that Turner's BMW. H Racing Green went too wide on the way in. Yeah, he picked up a 3-second penalty for too wide on the way in. But here we go now. We had a battle last week between Piazzi and Iqbal. We have one this week between current championship leader H Racing Green and current band third in the championship, Piazzi. Blue flags for somebody. Not quite sure what the blue flags are actually for, because there's no lapped cars in this one. There is definitely no lapped cars. Down into turn 1. Piazzi absolutely hunting down the Invicta car of H Racing Green. 91 versus 77. This could be a battle for the championship. It's such a short season, only 6 rounds. We're almost less than 10 laps to go, and we still don't really know who's going to win this one, because Haslien, of course, still hasn't made a pit stop. What about Fred Dude? Could he delay late charge here? And H Racing Green, he's in the wall! And that's a big spin for the man leading the race, and it's all gone wrong. The Mercedes has spun round and into the wall. Big error for the current championship leader. And now he has damage. It's bumper damage for H Racing Green. Oh, it's all gone wrong. It has all gone wrong for H Racing Green. And really, that's his chances of a win gone. The damage is gone. It does just go naturally, but that could be his chances for a win gone. As we can see, Fred Dudenbrowski has Fred run mediums. He's on mediums now, and he has completed 9 laps with them. So he has completed the mandatory tyre run for both compounds of tyres. However, Haslien has to be in either this or next lap, otherwise he won't be able to complete it. But big error there for H Racing Green. Oh, he's picked up a penalty as well. Oh, it's all gone wrong. It has all gone wrong for the championship leader. We may have a championship lead change unless H Racing Green. Don't count him out just yet. Do not count him out. He could definitely take Petit Petyat. Hayden says there will be a very good result for someone coming soon. I can't lie, I don't know who Hayden is the strategist for, but there's Haslien finally into the pit lane. What about Fred Dude? Fred Dude leads the Spanish Grand Prix. Fred Dude has one podium this season, and it was in Daytona. There is Brownski in as well. He's also completed his medium compound. Fred Dune stands 6th in the championship. He could get himself involved. H Racing Green he's struggling. And it's just unfortunate because it's such an easy corner. It's such an easy mistake to make. He's Fred's team boss, so probably should have guessed that due to all the Fred's comments, but oh well. Fred Dude leads the Spanish Grand Prix by 39.6 seconds. That is coming down. Where's Hasnian coming out? Hasnian, has he managed to recreate Brazil? He's come out in 3rd position. Hasnian, Mr. One Stop, I don't really know what to say. Hasnian's done it again. He's come out right behind Piazzi on a fresh set of mediums, and Hasnian was last at the start. He was last in qualifying, but Mr. One Stop returns, and here we go. It's going to be a bit of a battle between the SB cars, and Brownski goes up the inside of Petit Petiat, and now the men, who are trying different strategies are the ones who are coming out on top. Fred Dude, is he going to be into the pit lane on this lap? This is big for Fred. He's in. The Mazda is into the pit lane, and this could decide the result of this race, where he comes out on track. Here's Piazzi and Hasnian. Could it be a 3-way fight at the end here? We don't normally see last lap battles in GT racing. I would love to see one here, folks. Where is Fred? There's Fred, getting the tyres changed. The number 11, he has Yokohamas on the Mazda. Of course, as we said, it doesn't make a difference. It's really just for the novelty of what tyres you want to run. Down the main straight comes Piazzi and Hasnian, 1st and 2nd on track. But where is that Mazda going to come out of the pit lane? That is the big thing. The standings go a bit funny, but we have to wait and see. Can we see him out of the pit lane? There's Fred Dude. He's out of the pit lane now. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out, I believe, on the podium, or is he going to come out behind the 2 Subarus? Side by side into turn number 1. It's Fred Dude and Petit Petiat. Who's going to get the spot? Petit Petiat gets the spot, the wider line, but Fred Dude got to chase him. Round turn number 3 in the Mazda. The number 11 has the better tyres. He has the better fuel. He has the better fuel to the end of the race, but he's now stuck in 5th and has H Racing Green stuck behind him. But Fred could really challenge here, as all these guys are on very good rubber. That is one thing for sure. Jamie, unfortunately, has dropped down out of this one. Hasnian is still hunting down Piazzi. Hasnian, if he could win this one, I think it would be an even bigger shock than Brazil, because at least in Brazil we thought he had a chance of winning the race. Here we barely mentioned him up until lap 26. Here comes Fred Dude on Petit Petiat, though Petit Petiat's wide at turn number 9. Could Fred Dude possibly make a move into turn 10? No, he's a bit far back on this occasion. He does have Harry Racing Green charging up behind him as well, so do keep an eye on the Invicta Racing team, because we're in for a cracking finish here, folks. In for an absolute belter through 14. And now into 15, it is the Hungarian of Piazzi still leading in Spain. I just don't think Hasnian has the pace to win today. But Piazzi has made mistakes already in this race. Will he make some more? Only time will tell. Down the main straight, the Mazda. The best straight line speed, it's probably fairly even between these 3, but Fred Dude has the better tyres than the lot. They're all on a set of the racing hards, so all fairly similar condition. Race of attrition, exactly, well said. This race has definitely been a race of attrition. We've seen H Racing Green have that spin around turn number 9. We heard it before we saw it, and now he's really struggling. Well, more, I'm struggling to think that he can finish on the podium, but he's not. He's catching Fred Dude. Here he goes, pressuring into a move in turn number 5. Doesn't send it. He thinks the better. right on board. The Invicta VR46 Mercedes. He's just a bit better than Fred through there. Fred, is he overdriving the car? Is he thinking too much of a good result here? 1 lap 28, so he's still time. As there we go, both wide as we're through 9 and heading into 10. Fred, he's wobble, and he's kept it under control somehow. But Fred, dude, might just be pushing his Mazda a little bit too much here, just to hold on. It's not like Harry's a slouch behind him. He's definitely a very, very well-known driver. Fred knows who he's defending from, but he's not going to let that get to him. Honestly, when you're on that track, you think you're the best you can be. And Fred has been very good today. Down the main straight. Gap up the front is still a second, but Brownski is catching. Brownski, another man who wasn't really anywhere in this one, but the different strategies, if you want to call it, has really been better today. The traditional, as we expected, has not been too good. Here's H Racing Green, still can't pressure Fred into a move. Fred is absorbing this pressure like a shock in the suspension. He is managing everything very well, and he's catching Petty Petyat while doing it, which signs of a good driver. We're into the business end though, so moves will have to be made fairly soon. Jamie in the Corvette is catching, but I don't think there is enough time left really for him to make more of an impact. He led the opening stages of this race, but unfortunately the Chevrolet Corvette tyre wear just let him down in the opening stint, which did drop him to 4th, and then of course had to make the earlier pit stop, meaning he was on earlier stints than everybody else. And that's really been a case of Chevrolet Corvette racing of recent. For anyone who watched Le Mans, of course they were going very well in the start and then fell down. Here we go, H Racing Green first to try a move. Back to our race instead of Le Mans. H Racing Green first to try a move on Fred, dude. Fred 1-0, he defends. H Racing Green now, that's offset his line into the next few corners as Fred, oh, he's just mounted a bit of curb there, but still looking good. Piazzi, oh, there's a mistake, there's a big mistake up the front. Piazzi's a 2-second penalty, and don't know what made me check it, but he's just picked it up as we've gone on board. My oh my, are we about to witness the second Hasnian win? It would be unbelievable scenes if Hasnian could take it. Fred dude has the legs on H Racing Green now, I think. Fred dude is running exceptionally well here in the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, in the town of Montemelo, small town, very beautiful, and a great racing feel around it. But Hasnian, his heart is fluttering for sure because he senses the chance. That penalty is going to lose Piazzi more than 2 seconds. That is the thing with GT penalties, and myself when I'm driving and I do complain, because your penalty, it won't lose you 2 seconds, it'll lose you a lot more because your car slows down on a straight. Here we go, penalty will be served for Piazzi. There it is, it's gone. Hasnian will lead the race by over a second. Brownski is closing in on Piazzi now, so this is going to be a great scrap to the end. We just had to keep cutting between the two battles. There goes Petty Petyat. What's happened to him? Fred dude and H Racing Green have both got the spot on Petty Petyat, and I think he might have just made a mistake. We're missing everything. There's battles everywhere. It's so hard to keep up. But Petty Petyat now is down to 6th. The two Hungarians both making mistakes. Lap 30 is not their friend. That is for sure. Rounding turn 16 for the 30th time. It is Hasnian who leads the Spanish Grand Prix. The top 3 are all together, and then 4th, 5th and 6th are all together. Fred dude doesn't have a slipstream to assist him this time in his defence, but I think that Mazda might just have enough down the main straight. We can see here, it soars past, beautiful livery on it, I do have to say. And down into the first couple of corners, it's still well. Gap up the front is 1 second. Piagetti's really going for it now. He lost the battle for the win last week in Daytona, but thankfully, due to an Iqbal penalty, well, thankfully for Piaggi, due to an Iqbal penalty, he did inherit the win, and by some margin, because it was them two all day. He's going to have to scrap for it a bit more now, because he does have Brownski right behind him in the SB racing car. Fred Dude still absorbing this pressure from H Racing Green. He does have the better tyres. Those tyres are just not wearing. That Mazda is exceptional on its rubber. It just does not wear. But H Racing Green is very close now. Is he going to go for the inside or the outside into turn 10? He tried the inside once. He's not going to go for anything as he's too far back. Fred Dude. He's fast through the right corners, is Fred Dude, and that sounds absolutely stupid, but through the corners where he needs to defend the next one, he's very quick on the exits, and that's what he needs to be, because Fred Dude could be on for his second best result of the season, finished third last week due to that Iqbal penalty. Here we go, battle for the lead though between Haslian and between Piaggi. Piaggi is right on the tail of the Lexus. Where is he going to go? Is it going to be the outside or the inside for Piaggi? Haslian defends the inside. Piaggi's going to have to go the long way around the outside into turn number 1. And the Hungarian leads once again at Spain. He's made that move a few times today. He's gone up the inside of quite a few cars. And Piaggi now leads, but Haslian, he's going to have another go. He's got the traction out of turn number 3. Piaggi, though, just about has enough in the Supra. Haslian got to try the outside, possibly a switchback. He's on the inside now. What a move by Haslian. He somehow get this car in the perfect position, and that might just be the best defensive move you see today. This has allowed Brownski into this battle though, because Piaggi's pushed Haslian wide, and now Brownski, the fellow Briton, is right on this tail. Haslian, I have to say, he's done a lot better of a job there than I would have first predicted. He's on a set of the mediums, but they are wearing fast. Brownski's mediums would be in better condition. But he's kept with him, and still a chance here for Haslian, still a chance for Brownski. Penalty for H Racing Green. Fred Dude gets a bit of relief from that pressure which he's absorbed so well, and the man who's made the mistake was the one who was applying the pressure, which really goes to show. Just gotta say for a second, folks, really great comeback by the Corvette of Jamie. He's right on the back of Petty Petya. Here we go, down the main straight. 9/10 of a second is the gap. 1 second, that's out of slipstream range. Haslian could be in trouble here because he could be swamped up by Brownski. Three laps to go, down to turn number 1. Haslian is safe for the time being. Fred Dude, he has a 1.7, he's a 1.6 second advantage now over H Racing Green. Might just be enough for the Belgian to take 4th spot here. If there's a collision up the front, Fred Dude will be on for a podium, because he is catching up. They've caught about a second since the last check. Brownski putting on the pressure on Haslian. He knows he's a chance for the race win, I think, if he can get this done on this lap. Here he goes, going to try the outside. We've seen Piaggi try the inside on this corner on the last lap. Brownski can't apply the same pressure. Haslian's tyres might have just fallen off here though, because Brownski is going to go up the inside. Oh, it's so close to turn 7. Who breaks latest? It's got to be Brownski, and that's an exceptional overtake. He has a job to do though. It's 2.3 seconds up front now due to this battle, but if anyone can do it, it's Brownski. However, Mr. One Stop behind him is still applying the pressure. Down into turn 10, can he send one, or will he just stick behind? Haslian is just going to stick behind. I think he knows there's bigger fish to fry for Brownski. Although, I think that gap might just be too big with 2 laps to go, because the hards are still a great tyre. Piaggi was on pole in them. Gap between Fred Dude and H Racing Green is now 1.8. It's extended. and the gap between Jamie and Petit Pet... Sorry, it's a position swap between Jamie and Petit Petiat. Petit Petiat's very much fallen off, and we have lost Toby in the Turner's BMW, folks. That is our second retirement of the evening. .1 seconds. I think the battle for the lead might just be over. Could Hasnian somehow stick with Brownski here? I can't see it, honestly. The tyres are just too bad. Have to respect the one-stop attempt from Hasnian, though, because he's the only man to do it in Brazil and in Spain. There was a few who did it in Daytona, but it was easier then. And then there was a few who just did the wrong strategy and were disqualified, which was exceptional. 2 laps to go though, well 2 and a bit laps to go, and the gap at the front is still 3.1 seconds. If Piaggi gets another penalty like he got the last time with the 2 seconds, well, that would make things interesting, wouldn't it? I'm not saying I do hope him to get a penalty, but it would certainly make things interesting. Oh, Fred Dude has made the mistake, or has he been hit? I think he might have been hit there, because H Racing Green has just let Fred Dude back through, and Petit Petiat on the outside, trying round the outside of the Belgian, but Fred Dude has defended well. Petit Petiat's not waiting for anyone. It's got to be round the outside in turn number 9. Surely this one doesn't work. Fred Dude keeps it up the inside. Petit Petiat round the outside. Oh, he's pushed him, man. There's a big collision between the two. Fred Dude's round, Petit Petiat's round, and he has drove into the scene of the accident, and Fred Dude, what was looking like a brilliant P4, is now turned into a very, very unfortunate P7. I think there was contact between H Racing Green there, because he did slow up to let him through. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's really awful for Fred Dude. He was running exceptionally well and was absorbing that pressure. And really, the man who made the mistakes was the man applying it on 2 separate occasions. He's still going to hunt for P6 here. Petit Petiat had the same downfall. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Gap in the front is 4 seconds. Piaggi's bolted clear once he got in front. Brownski still catching as Hasnian just fell off. I have to say Jamie, though. The Chevrolet version of Moses, because the seas parted in front of him and he's just invited himself up to 4th in a great result. H Racing Green will take 5th. Fred Dude's ahead of Petit Petiat. He's got it back done. So, great attempt from Fred to keep it calm, keep it cool, and take a spot back. Because all points will matter in such a short season, so it's definitely important to get all the points you can take, but really he'll want a lot more from that, and he could have got a lot more from that if it wasn't for whatever happened back then. I'm sure H Racing Green, if it was him, he'll be first to hold up his hands and admit it. He's a great lad, H Racing Green, so we'll definitely hear from him after the race, and I'll try to get a report from that as quick as possible. But only one man today, really. There's a bit of a threat from Hasnian, a bit of a threat from Brownski, and a bit of a threat from H Racing Green, but he made mistakes and he recovered the best. There was mistakes all around the field, but recovering the best was the Hungarian, and for the second time in 2 weeks, and to take the Drivers' Championship lead, Piaggi rounds the final corner to win the Spanish Grand Prix here in the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, by about 4.8 seconds. It is Piaggi who wins in Barcelona. Brownski will take his best result of the season in 2nd. Hasnian will take his 2nd podium of the season. Mr. One Stop in 3rd. Jamie takes 4th on his debut. Great result for him, and H Racing Green takes 5th, but he would have wanted a lot more. Fred will come home in 6th, a bit of a fan favourite, I think, in that race. He'll come home in 6th. Petit Petiat will come home in 7th. YRS, we will have to wait a bit from him as... Wow, look at those tyres. No, I think he's left there. I don't think he fancied... I think he fancied staying. But that is it, folks. Your winner is Piaggi, and it will be a championship leader swing because he was only 8 points off the top. It is 16 points for a win and 17 for a fastest lap, but I think H Racing Green got the fastest lap, so it'll be a point in his favour. Very unfortunate for Fred Dude there, we have to say. He was a bit of a fan favourite, I think, for us all in the stream chat. Toby had a force feedback problem. he had a force feedback problem. H Racing Green says, how did that go so wrong? So he's not happy with his race. Fred's annoyed, but I think that's understandable. YRS tried the one stop, and yeah, just about H Racing Green, you can see, not going to say the first bit, but auto spin in T9. The stewards were observing track limits for turn number 1 and 2 and turn number 9, so we may have to see what did anything develop for there. But thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening. We had a very interesting race here in Montemelo in the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. It was Piaggi who was the victor this evening. You can join us next week. We will be heading to the Autodromo Nazionale Monza for a 31 lap adventure around the Temple of Speed. My name is Evan Dalton, and thank you very much for all tuning in. Stay safe, stay well, and I shall catch you next time.